Izumi is a kind and upbeat high school student who happens to suffer from unluckiness. While waking to school, he trips on the pavement within seconds of leaving the house and falls over a rope to avoid a bird dropping. He meets up with his girlfriend, Shikimori, who saves him from being hit by a speeding truck. They meet with their friends, Shu Inuzuka, Kyo Nikozaki, and Yu Hachimitsu, and confirm they will be in the same class this year. When Shikimori overhears some of their other classmates telling Izumi that he is too dull to be in a relationship with such a cute girl, she retrieves Izumi, returning a cold glare back at them. Shikimori goes to a bowling alley with Izumi and their friends, where Nikozaki and Hachimitsu tell her to pretend to be bad at it so as to appear cuter. However, when Izumi encourages her before her turn, she ends up bowling a perfect game. As they walk home, Izumi tells Shikimori that he feels pathetic for having her defend him all the time, with him being unable to make it up to her. Just then, a large sign falls towards Izumi, but Shikimori deflects it. She tells Izumi not to worry, and that all that he needs to do is stay by her side. Shikimori and Izumi's class holds their sports competitions. During Izumi's soccer match, he gets hit in the head by the ball, and is cared for by Shikimori in the nurse's office. During Shikimori's volleyball match, they start losing the game, but a healed Izumi arrives and encourages Shikimori from the stands. She proceeds to play exceptionally and, alongside Nikozaki, rally their team to victory. As Izumi congratulates Shikimori on the court, Kamiya, the other team's ace, leaves disappointed. Shikimori immediately becomes a celebrity, with many girls lining up to take pictures with her and showering her with praises. Seeing this, Izumi decides to stand aside. While Shikimori tries to get past her admirers to get to Izumi, Inuzuka saves him from a stray volleyball that comes through the window, hitting him in the face. Izumi comes close to his face to apologize for his bad luck, enraging Shikimori. Later, Izumi nearly falls down the stairs, but Shikimori saves him in time. Angry, she berates him for wanting to walk home without her. Izumi tells her he was going to the school entrance to wait for her, and that he misses being with her. Delighted, Shikimori agrees to walk home with him. Inuzuka gifts 2 coupons for the movies to Izumi, which he uses to invite a delighted Shikimori. Izumi packs a bag with all the necessary items to counter his usual bad luck, recalling his previous dates with Shikimori ruined by his misfortune. Meanwhile, Shikimori has a hard time deciding what to wear. The next day, Izumi meets with her and is stunned by her look. They arrive at the cinema, where she chooses a horror movie. Izumi believes he will finally demonstrate his manliness to her, but the complete opposite happens, with Shikimori having to comfort a terrified Izumi. After the movie, they go to a bakery, but Izumi has lost his wallet despite his preventive measures. Bummed out, they come across his parents, who invite Shikimori over for dinner. After they eat, Motoko, his mother, thanks Shikimori for her patience, explained to her how Izumi's caring and friendly nature comes from his constant injuries as a child, never affecting his spirit. Shikimori promises to continue protecting him, delighting Motoko. As Izumi wakes up from a nap, he finds Shikimori playing video games with his father, Ekisada. As he walks her home, Shikimori tells Izumi that they shall watch a movie he likes the next time. Izumi and his friends hang out on the school rooftop. As summer has just started, they discuss on where they want to go on their vacation. Nikozaki and Inuzuka propose the beach, but decide against it when they remember Izumi's sensitivity towards the sun. They ultimately propose the river so they can all enjoy it. Inuzuka and Izumi want to study for their exams, but Nikozaki takes them all to the mall to buy supplies for their vacation. Shikimori notices Izumi glaring at an ad of a woman wearing a swimsuit, so she sets off embarrassed. Nikozaki finds her in the swimsuit store as she remembers when she became friends with her after she defeated her in a basketball match. Shikimori buys the swimsuit, but hides it from Izumi when he asks her about it. Back home, Izumi receives a call from Shikimori. They look at the stars as Izumi explains the bad luck he has when he tries to stargaze with his father. Shikimori promises to see the stars properly with him and insists on going places he wants to go together. Happy, Izumi thanks her, and after hanging up, Shikimori ponders on how much she wanted to see Izumi at that moment. Sometime later, Shikimori attends cooking classes with Motoko. Izumi and his friends arrive at the river town, where they decide to hold a BBQ. Izumi offers himself to cook after seeing Inuzuka's poor knife skills. He proves to be a skilled cook, which prompts Shikimori to attempt to cook herself. However, Izumi is blown away by how bad her food is, but seeing how much effort she put into it, Izumi forces himself to eat it all, prompting Shikimori to promise to become better at cooking. After eating some s'mores, they head down to the river. Izumi sees a little girl being carried away by the current, but after saving her, his foot cramps, so Shikimori rescues him. Back on land, the girl thanks Izumi with a kiss on the cheek. They head down to swim, where Izumi finally tells Shikimori that she looks cute in her new swimsuit. They return to the town to have some ice cream, where Izumi gives Shikimori an indirect kiss after eating from her cone. Before she can do the same, however, Inuzuka appears and eats Izumi's cone, enraging her. As they all fall asleep on the train back home, Izumi reflects on how lucky he is to have found his group of friends. Shikimori wakes up, and seeing Izumi asleep on Inuzuka's shoulder, moves his head onto herself. Izumi sees the news about the upcoming fireworks festival and invites Shikimori to go with him. While Motoko gives Izumi a yukata to wear, Shikimori has her brother help her tie her own. They meet up at the festival's entrance and visit several of the stalls before having cotton candy. Izumi wishes to buy Shikimori one, still feeling down for being unable to do things in return for her. She explains that seeing him happy is enough for her. They then go to a shooting game, where Shikimori wins a wolf plushie effortlessly, impressing both Izumi and the operator. They find their friends and play in a goldfish scooping game, where Nekozaki has to prevent Shikimori from becoming too competitive with Inuzuka. Izumi reveals that his father told him about a special place to watch the fireworks. However, due to her bruised feet, Izumi offers to carry her. Arriving at the top of a slope, Izumi confesses that he wanted to invite Shikimori the previous year as well, but was too cowardly to do so. She reveals she was waiting for him back then, but is happy to see them with him now. As they are about to leave, Izumi trips, but is saved by Akisada, who reveals he attended the spot with Motoko. The school prepares for their cultural festival. Izumi commends how cute Shikimori looks in her costume for their animal cafe. During the first day, Izumi is overwhelmed with his work and nearly trips. However, Shikimori catches him on time. The next day, Izumi attends library duty, discovering that the only other person present is Kamiya. As such, he recalls when he met her, when they were paired together for library duty the previous year. Back in the present, Kamiya aggressively asks Izumi about how he began dating Shikimori. Meanwhile, Shikimori gets jealous when she sees that she did not get the same number as Izumi in the couple numbers game, which has students with the same number take pictures together before they start dating. Sensing that Kamiya might like Shikimori, Izumi tells her their story. During last year's cultural festival, Izumi and Shikimori got the same number. However, Izumi lost the slip and was initially negated the picture. However, after he insisted on how much he wanted it, the president made an exception for them. Afterwards, Izumi asked Shikimori out, and they began dating. Back in the present, it is revealed that it was Kamiya who got the same number as Izumi. Kamiya visualizes herself as a princess unable to access her forbidden love, Izumi, in a dance. In reality, Nekozaki calls Kamiya outside, where she meets with Shikimori, who asks Kamiya to switch numbers with her, having found that she has Izumi's number. Kamiya agrees and hands her the slip. However, Shikimori notices Kamiya's comfort around Izumi. After finishing her duties, Kamiya reflects on the rooftop, wanting to bury her feelings. However, Shikimori arrives and tries to give her the slip back. As she explains, she realized she does not want to be unfair to her feelings. However, Kamiya refuses and promises to not come close to Izumi again. Shikimori rips up the paper and embraces a crying Kamiya, telling her to cherish her feelings and thanking her for being so kind. After Shikimori leaves, Kamiya wishes them happiness. Izumi takes Shikimori to a park to give her a heart locket as a gift for her birthday. Delighted, Shikimori tells Izumi to never change the way he is. Izumi tells her that she changed him for the better and promises to keep getting stronger so that she can be relaxed when they are together. Shikimori breaks into tears and embraces him, promising to never leave his side. After he gets sick, Izumi texts Inuzuka asking him for his notes, making Shikimori jealous. She then asks Inuzuka if she may follow him. However, Nekozaki sends Hachimitsu to look over them. In a grocery store, Shikimori asks Inuzuka to select medicine for Izumi and asks him to pick between two types of candy. Hachimitsu appears and tells them that after watching them, she has realized that Shikimori sees Inuzuka an older brother due to her coldness with her own brother. Shikimori becomes embarrassed, confirming her theory. Sometime later, Shikimori and Nekozaki find Kamiya at the mall. Nekozaki initially doubts Kamiya will hang out with them, but she accepts, and Nikozaki is impressed with how playful and friendly Kamiya is with Shikimori. They then compete to use a basketball court against two other girls. After they manage to win, they all take a group picture. After Shikimori leaves, Nikozaki tells Kamiya that she always seemed in pain and asks her who made her smile in the way she did today. Kamiya does not answer, but tells Nikozaki that she wishes to tell her someday. As they leave, Nikozaki wishes for Kamiya to keep smiling and discovering new feelings. Despite not wanting to race, both Izumi and Hachimitsu end up being selected for their class relay team for their upcoming sports festival. To make up for it, their friends complete the team and begin training after school. However, both Izumi and Hachimitsu struggle to improve, but continue practicing after their friends have left. During the sports festival, Hachimitsu impresses her friends with her bag-tossing capabilities, managing to finish in second place. After the main race starts, Nikozaki's speed easily puts her in front. Hachimitsu then tries to give it her all, but trips and falls. Having never cared for victory, Hachimitsu forces herself to stand up and continue. After thinking of the smile of her friends if they pulled off the improbable, she hands off the baton to Izumi, who loses one of his shoes. However, he kicks his other shoe off and continues. After handing it off to Shikimori, she manages to recover lost ground, and as the anchor, Inuzuka manages to pull off the comeback as their class emerge as winners of the festival. Delighted, Hachimitsu thanks her team and declares she had fun, thinking of how proud she is of them. A young Izumi is invited by his friends to be part of their group in their upcoming trip. However, he refused to go after his bad luck nearly got them hurt. In the present, Shikimori is shopping for clothes for a date with Izumi with her brother Fuji. A flashback shows a younger Shikimori, who was a karate prospect alongside him. One day, after Fuji told her he would be leaving karate, he told her to be herself and abstain from trying to be like him or their mother. As such, after reading a romance manga, she agreed to quit karate, become a cute girl, and fall in love. On her high school entrance exam day, she saw Izumi for the first time. She retrieved his exam ticket from a tree, but believed she had made a bad first impression on him. However, on their first day of high school, she met with Izumi again, who was glad she was okay and expressed his joy to see her. As such, she fell in love with him. Back in the present, Shikimori sees a cute lipstick, but refuses to buy it when she sees its price. Having decided for clothes to wear, Fuji surprises Shikimori with the lipstick she wanted, so she leaves for her date, while Fuji looks her on proudly. At their date in an amusement park, they enter a Sleeping Beauty-themed ride together. Izumi asks her if she has any dreams, so she reveals her dream of falling in love has been fulfilled. Near the end, Izumi falls asleep, so Shikimori goes to kiss him, but the ride ends before she can. They then have a blast at the park, and as night falls, they head to a high-end restaurant. After leaving, Shikimori remembers the commercial for the park, which features a couple kissing. She then asks Izumi to the thing from the commercial, but he instead does other things shown in the video. Izumi later realizes what she really meant. They then board a gondola ride, but a power outage leaves them stranded. Only being able to see each other, Izumi recalls Shikimori's fear of him drifting away from her. To reassure her, he succeeds in kissing her in the cheek and telling her that he loves her and will always be with her. A delighted Shikimori embraces him tightly as the lights come back on, exclaiming how she is happier than in any dream. Back in school, Shikimori tells Nikozaki and Hachimitsu what happened and promises to be more open-hearted like Izumi, as Hachimitsu accepts it as long as they are happy.